Hello, Star Wars fans and collectors. It's me, Jedi Master 98, back again with another Star Wars live stream right here on the Jedi Master 98 YouTube channel. In today's live stream of Star Wars Conversations Live, we're going to be going over Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and it is Episode 9 of the live stream series that I'm doing. As I just mentioned, we'll be doing about The Last Jedi. Obviously, as you're aware, over the last several months and since December 2017, when The Last Jedi was released, it has had so much stick and controversy with fans and so many people around the globe who are Star Wars fans. But what we're going to do is we're going to try and do our best shot on what we think about the film. I know that my guest Alonn is probably going to tear the Last Jedi a new arsehole because he's got so many mixed feelings about it. So Alonn is my guest for yet again another live stream on this channel.
Hi.
So yeah, he's really looking forward to tearing a new
arsehole. So we're doing this. Yuppie.
Yeah.
You're talking really about a movie that came out a year ago. Oh boy.
Another thing I like to add is we was meant to be joined by the Collector's Hut, Chris, but he's unavailable, so yeah, he can't unfortunately make it, but he'll probably be watching the stream. Going over what I just said as well, also The Last Jedi has had so much controversy between fans and everything, and yeah, as I said, we're going to give it our best shot. It's the first stream in a while since April. So we're going to give it our best shot, and what we'll do first is I'm just going to quickly brief you with the opening call of the film, and then we're going to dive right into the action on the film. So we'll just mention the opening call. The First Order reigns, having decapitated the peaceful Republic. Supreme Leader Snoke now deploys the merciless legions to seize military control of the galaxy, and General Leia Organa's band of resistant fighters stand against the rising tyranny, certain that Jedi Master Luke Skywalker will return and restore a spark of hope to the fight. But the resistance has been exposed as the First Order speeds towards the rebel base. The brave heroes mount a desperate escape. So that is the opening crawl. Coming into the Star Wars film, before The Last Jedi was released, we thought that this was going to be the first Star Wars film to be based on land first. But obviously, when we see the opening crawl, it dives right onto the planet Dooku, where we get a long shot of the camera, which is just going down to the planet, and we see obviously a couple of resistance ships escaping the planet, because obviously the First Order has obviously tracked down their base, and yeah, just basically in a rush to leave the planet. So obviously resistance leaves the planet Dooku. There's a brand new First Order ship as well with some big ass cannons. I think that's called a Dreadnought, if I can remember. Yet again, we see Poe Dameron at the start of the film, obviously in his X-Wing as well. And we see a little bit of nitpicking and so-called awkward moments between General Hux and Poe Dameron. Now, my personal opinion about that is what I mentioned, being a bit nitpicking, a bit awkward. I mean, I don't think it was needed. Like, you're at the start of a Star Wars film. It got a little bit dry, if you know what I mean. Alonn. I don't know if you felt the same, but when I rewatched The Last Jedi yesterday, seeing that scene between Hux and saying, "Oh, you can hear me loud," about Hux's mother, I did think that was really necessarily needed. There's a bit of dry banter, which was literally not needed at all, which is a little bit annoying.
Yeah, if there's something that I really don't like in the Star Wars franchise is that you'll see a lot of times where they'll make the menacing the menace feel like a joke. Like, for example, the droid army in the Clone Wars, like the droids were basically there for comic relief, and we now it's they're doing the same thing with the First Order. I feel like you know, the stormtroopers are, you know, that they're, we could just laugh at them.
Well,
That they're not even menacing.
that's what the droids were, and that's what the
They're
First
just
Order
a
are. They're a
joke.
laughing stock. Yeah, they're a laughing stock.
They're just a joke, and Hux is not really helping. I mean, come on, we saw him in the last movies, like all Hitler like, and and now we're like, I mean, it's made fun of.
Snoke takes the piss, Kylo takes the piss, and I think that banter with him and Poe Dameron, or so-called banter, it was so dry and not necessary.
Like,
It's so awkward to think, why the fuck are you talking about this, man? It's shit. That's one.
like I think
that's one bit I didn't like.
Did it. I think they did it right the first time around when they initially, you know, in the original trilogy, when they introduced the Empire, they felt like a threat, more like a threat than like a joke. They were less. I mean, of course, we all made fun of how they don't know how to aim, and that, you know, they're easily manipulated by the Jedi, and you know, weak-minded. But they, you know, they didn't, you know, there weren't too many jokes. You know, the Empire was a force to be reckoned with, and you just don't feel like it. You don't feel that with the First Order. I feel like
No, they're just like a laughing stock where you look at them
exactly.
thinking they're not even menacing, whereas the Empire was actually menacing itself.
It's basically the droid this. It's basically this trilogy's version of the droid army. I feel like way too easy to outmatch, I'd say.
Yeah, and basically manipulate.
And they just make it seem like they're like, you know, they just make it seem like they're impossible to overrun during this whole movie. Just so there would be a story, but in reality, I mean, they could blow him up just like that.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So
by the way, guys, if I'm not talking, you know, if I'm not talking good today, is because I haven't had much sleep. And when I say I haven't had much sleep, I'm talking like I had at least like 1 hour of sleep last night. So I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna try to be as bearable as possible.
Mate, you'll be bearable fine, mate. I know you've been looking forward to the stream for a while, so you've got nothing to disappoint there. So yeah, that bit with Hux and Poe Dameron, it's not needed, if I'm honest with that shitty banter. Can Hux hear me? Can you hear me? It's not needed. You're shit. You should have just left it and dived into the battle.
They should just kill Hux.
Yeah. Kill that fucker.
I'm sorry, Billy Weasley, but they should just kill Hux, man.
Well, they killed Snoke. Why didn't they kill Hux as well? They killed Phasma, but they didn't kill Hux.
There's, you know what? I'm willing to bet that Phasma is coming back in episode 9.
Oh,
it's gonna be like Kenny from South Park. It's gonna be a running gag.
Yeah, he's gonna come back. Oh my god, they killed Phasma, you bastard! Oh, so yeah. So that little bit between Poe Dameron and Hux is not needed, and it's just the first line of shit that was included in that film.
Right.
Next up, we see there's obviously Poe Dameron is causing panic with the First Order with obviously that special bit of cargo he's got in his X-wing, like some sort of quick fucking mechanism, what it's called, I don't know what it's called. We see shit happen as well. BB-8's repairing the ship after Poe Dameron takes some hits. Even though BB-8 is small, you get to see him obviously move a lot more in like the back part of the cockpit of the X-wing. You can see him repair stuff and everything. We see resistance bombers involved next. We see them bombing the Dreadnought, but obviously a lot of them get killed due to First Order TIE fighter pilots shooting down. Obviously, the First Order has the advantage at ensuring at least half the Resistance fighters and bombers, because obviously the Resistance is slowly crumbling at the start of the film. We see Paige Tico's, which is Rose Tico's sister. She sacrifices herself with the last remaining bomber to destroy the Dreadnought. Despite,
skippable.
It's capable, yeah.
Skippable.
Despite General Leia Organa specifically giving a direct order to Commander Poe Dameron not to engage. And we see shit happen there as well. The Resistance lose at least half of their fighters and fleet, and eventually they escape through hyperspace as well. And Alonn, do you have anything else to add about the opening of the film?
Hated it. Let's move on.
Hated it. We'll move on. Yeah, it wasn't the most spectacular. It was good, obviously, with action and everything, but we'll move on. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is we see Supreme Leader Snoke in a holocron, and we see Snoke use the Force on Hux. He literally gets dragged to the floor, smacked in the face, and obviously moves across the floor, explaining why the Resistance has escaped. And obviously they are so desperate to look for Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. So that was cool to see Snoke use the Force, obviously with a holocron, which is quite different, but it's cool anyway, as usual. What else? Where are we? Let me have a look. Where are we? Let's have a look, mate. Give me a sec.
In the meantime, I'll read the comments if you allow me.
Yeah, we'll read the comments. Then we'll just check with a couple of things in here.
Goodman Adventure says, I love Jedi Master 98. Well, I'm sure he loves you too.
No, very kind. Very kind.
Super Geo says, yo, Jack, dude, The Last Jedi was so fucking bad.
It was on and off. It was. Last Jedi, on and off. Good and bad moments as well.
And lastly, for now, Clone Trooper Dogma is in the chat as well. He says, hey, everyone, how are you all doing?
Yeah, we're doing all right.
Yeah, doing all right.
Doing all right. So that's the comments read. Where was I? So we see Snoke use the Force on Hux. And next up, we see Finn wakes up from his coma, and obviously we see him walking across the ship, and he's looking for Rey. Next up, we see Rey. We see Rey on Act 2 with obviously Luke Skywalker. She's handing him the lightsaber, and the music gets all dramatic and stuff. And you see Luke looking at the lightsaber. He's just gone, fuck off. Like he's chucked it away. So that's the first sign of us seeing Luke Skywalker. He doesn't really give a shit on the past and everything. So yeah, it's just the first bit of Luke Skywalker that we wanted to see in The Force Awakens, but only saw him at the end. So we can kind of tell from the first instance that he doesn't really care as much as he used to. And one point I'd like to mention as well, there's too many Porgs. Alonn, what is your opinion on Porgs?
You know, I'm really indifferent with Porgs. I think they're pretty cute. I just don't like the way they overhype them. That's it.
They did.
I think they're objectively okay. It's just I hate that they were overhyped.
Yeah, there's certain things they overhype stuff, and then it leads to it being shit. But Porgs are not shit, but they were overhyped before the film,
and that's why we basically kind of hate them.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So the next up, we see Luke Skywalker's X-wing in the sea. So we're thinking, does he use the Force to put the X-wing in there, or he doesn't really give a shit anymore about the rebels and everything? Next up, we see Rey and Chewie. They burst into Luke's so-called living area. We see Luke speak to Chewie, and obviously instantly he notices what's happened. Where's Han? So he kind of was probably thinking, what has happened to Han? Is he dead? Is he alive? But obviously, I guarantee throughout the film, or either a deleted scene, you would have seen Rey explain to Luke that Ben Solo has killed Han Solo, and Leia is on her own with the Resistance, and obviously you're in Act 2 trying to put your head in the sand and not think about what has happened to your Jedi Academy, because obviously Ben Solo has destroyed it, and Luke instantly regrets it and blames himself for the fall of his Jedi Academy. So next up, we see Kylo Ren. He appears with Snoke and Hux. Obviously, we see Snoke has mentioned that he sees power and something special in his bloodline, a new Vader, because obviously, despite him being Ben Solo, Luke Skywalker's nephew, he's still got the so-called Skywalker blood in him. He's such a young talent that can come to the table with his power, but he's either blinded by his emotion. It's really cool to hear that Snoke mentioned that his bloodline was going to be a new Vader, but not as powerful as him. But as we know from The Force Awakens, he wants to finish what his grandfather started, but he's not really capable enough because he's not as powerful as people think he is. So we see Snoke order Kylo Ren to take his helmet off, and obviously we see some sort of false Sith sort of bandage on his cheek where he's been wounded by Rey on Starkiller Base. So, Alan, do you have any opinions on that? That's something different we've never seen from Star Wars before, like a sort of bandage, sort of medical-looking thing on Kylo Ren.
I got I don't know if it looked like it looked like nanotech. I don't know if I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
But not that it really matters to me. I mean, it's completely like normal that he would try to heal his wound. Damn it.
Yeah, despite getting fucked up by Rey in Starkiller Base.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
The interesting thing that you mentioned, that last movie, Kylo was all like, "I'm gonna finish what you started, grandfather." Like wanting to finish what Darth Vader started, and it is not a coherent thing, I think, in this movie, because in The Force Awakens he says he wants to finish what Darth Vader started, and in this movie, The Last Jedi, is like, kill the past and
kill it if you have to, find it. Right.
Yeah, forget the past, kill it if you have to. And well, I mean, what does that mean?
Yeah, first of all, he wants to try and finish his grandfather's legacy.
It does not sound at all like Darth Vader's vision.
No. Darth Vader's vision was basically to be the most feared Sith Lord in the galaxy, which he was, but there's still light left in him. His son turned him to the lighter side of Force.
I'm going to tell you what Darth Vader wanted. Darth Vader wanted to learn how to prevent people from dying.
Yeah, basically.
That was his goal his whole life.
Yeah, because obviously when we see the events of Revenge of the Sith, he's speaking with Palpatine. He mentioned about his old master, Darth Plagueis the Wise. He wanted to try and stop Padme from dying, whereas he had a vision that Padme died in childbirth. So basically that's just that really. But that's a great point that you mentioned there, Alan.
And you can't just, if that's what he means by finishing what Darth Vader started, then he did exactly the opposite of that when he killed Han Solo, his father.
Yes.
So you got some explaining to do, J.J. Abrams.
Rian Johnson or J.J. Abrams?
Both.
Yeah, both.
I mean, at this point, I already gave up on those movies, but sure, I guess.
Yeah. But let's just get him in there. You've got some explaining to do, George Lucas.
Yeah.
Alan's famous catchphrase in his live streams.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned, we just discussed about Snoke and obviously, Snoke and Kylo Ren. So Snoke uses lightning. He said that Skywalker lives and hope lives within him. You're just a child behind a mask. And it's good to see Kylo Ren's anger. He kind of reminds me of a young Anakin Skywalker, where he's obviously getting angry, he's moaning and basically being a spoiled little, annoying little shit. And he tells his First Order officers to prepare his ships. And basically, as I mentioned before, when we see Luke throw the lightsaber away from Rey, we see the early parts of Luke is a broken man. Like, he set up this Jedi Academy. Ben Solo has literally completely destroyed it all. He's gone to the planet Actu. He's a broken man. He wants nothing to do with the Resistance, the Rebels, and the New Republic anymore. He wants to basically just live on Actu for the rest of his days, die alone, and literally be completely forgotten. Like, he feels so guilty what has happened, despite Ben Solo turning to the dark side when Snoke obviously manipulated him. And it's obviously Luke's best part to basically destroy the dark side living in him. But as the film says and shows in the film, the flashbacks, Ben Solo completely does the opposite, manipulates Luke, and also just brings the building down on him and escapes, and eventually becomes this so-called new evil threat in the galaxy. I mean, what was your opinions on Luke, Alan? Because I thought Mark Hamill portrayed him really well, because in a previous instance, George Lucas actually mentioned about Luke going to a so-called deserted planet. He wanted to basically throw everything away and basically live on an island by himself. Like, he wanted absolutely nothing to do with Jedi. I don't know if you've read or heard something about that. George Lucas mentioned Luke Skywalker was eventually going to be banished, and when I say banished, completely throw everything away that he's worked hard for.
I mean, I know. Well, first of all, I haven't read about it, but it's an interesting concept because it's something that we've never seen before, and it's character development for a character that we know as, we know Luke Skywalker as this symbol of hope, optimistic and hopeful person, and now it seems like he lost hope, and that's interesting. That's an interesting thing to see in this character, but the way it was executed, I feel like was wrong. Especially when Rey tells him, "Hey, Leia, your sister sent me, and we are in danger. She is in danger." I mean, you lost hope, but you at least want to know what is going on, man. Like your family's in freaking danger. Don't you at least want to know what it's all about? I mean, yeah. I mean, okay, you get the clue that the First Order is involved, Ben Solo's involved, sister's involved, and that's the pitch right there. But I mean, it's just, come on. If normally Luke Skywalker would go save his go save Leia, no questions asked.
Yeah, he just jumped to the occasion and go, right, I'm the symbol of hope. I'm the person who restored peace and justice to the galaxy by turning my father back to the light side of force.
And it's not even about that. It's not even about that. It's not even about saving the day and beating the bad guys here. It's it's families in danger, help them out.
Yeah,
help them escape. You don't have to fight if you don't want to, but there's other ways that you can help. Jedi. I have seen recently. I watched in the Clone Wars season 5. Remember the story arc when Ahsoka, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Rex go to Alderaan, and the city is under separatist control, and they have a new king, and there's a rebellion that's trying to fight him off.
Yeah.
And they asked for the Jedi's help in this matter. The Jedi, and what the Jedi did, they only provided them with supplies, and they taught them how to defend themselves.
It was not their fight; they just basically taught them what they have to do.
Exactly, yeah. So if that's what I feel like Luke should have done. You know, just go there to protect them and provide them with the help they need. You don't necessarily have to fight their fight.
Yeah,
because it's their fight.
And basically, going back to what you said, he could have been like a bit of a reassurance for the resistance, saying, despite you being there, it will spark a little bit of hope. Like, we know what's happened to you, but at least get involved and help. Don't like fight our battle for us, but just have an influence.
Luke Skywalker is not just a laser sword wielding Jedi master guy. You know, he knows a lot. He knows how to do a lot of things. Like, first of all, he's a pilot, right?
He's a farm boy.
Yeah, he's a farm boy. He's a pilot, and I bet he knows his stuff when it comes to like technology and he worked on the Falcon. Like, I don't know if he would like at some point in his life he like worked on repairing the Falcon or anything.
Yeah,
I mean, I bet he's got I bet he can come up with good strategies or good plans, and they didn't. It didn't have to come necessarily to, oh, I'm gonna go over there with my lightsaber, face the entire army, the entire First Order army. No, it didn't have. It doesn't have to be like that. It shouldn't. They shouldn't expect him to do that, because there's many other ways to get this conflict out of the way.
Yeah, well said, mate. Well said. We just discussed what we thought of Luke Skywalker, but yeah, he doesn't really need to fight a battle.
I think if they gave it more time, and rewatch the Clone Wars, then I think that the movie might have been a bit better and better written at least.
Yeah. So instead of seeing like what you mentioned, just say, right, we know what's happened to your Jedi Academy. Just come along, influence us. Don't fight our battles, and then once that's happened, you can be done with it.
And then again, I know that it would make the movie less interesting, the story less interesting. But I mean, at least that you can't just. It just didn't feel right anyway.
No, it's like you saying, Luke helping the resistance in a way, whereas in this case we see him walking along the shore, hunts a big bloody fish, takes it back to his fucking house thing, drinks.
That's already better. Yeah.
Drinks some fucking milk from some weird fucking creature, and then fucks off back home. Yeah, see you later. I can give a fuck. Enough being said. Yeah. So we just mentioned about Luke Skywalker, what we think of him. We see Rey discover a cave with ancient Jedi texts about the Force. So that was something cool to see. So we see Rey discover the text. Luke mentions about the ancient Jedi text, what's it about, and everything. He says he mentions it's time for the Jedi to end, because obviously Luke is so fucked off and doesn't really give a monkeys about what's happened. And then next up, we see Leia slap Poe Dameron. Obviously, she's deliberately told him not to engage that the First Order dreadnought. He got destroyed, but lies with cost, and he's promoted. He's not promoted. He's depromoted. He's gone down to a lower rank. And after that, we see the Resistance looking for another new base yet again. The First Order has a new bit of technology that has been tracked in hyperspace. And when I was rewatching it yesterday, I'm thinking the First Order, new technology, but it wasn't really new technology. It's probably new technology to the film that we're seeing. But if you go back and watch Star Wars Rebels, the Empire had a weapon where they could track people in hyperspace. I don't know if you can remember it, Adam. Can you remember Star Wars Rebels where they had a sort of technology where they could track rebel ships throughout hyperspace? Whereas in this case, they've mentioned it's new light speed tracking, where we already know from Star Wars Rebels that's
Yeah,
been introduced before.
I vaguely remember that, and I also, I also remember that they mentioned it in Rogue One when they went through the files of the Imperial projects when they when they were looking for the plans for the Death Star on Scarif.
On Scarif, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, when they mentioned new technology for the film, but we've known it from Rogue One and Star Wars Rebels. Next up, we see Kylo Ren, his Starfighter. I thought that was really, really cool. And I don't know if you would probably agree with me, this, Adam, but he did remind me of a young Anakin Skywalker flying his First Order fighter. I mean, what do you think of that, Alan? Did he remind you of a young Anakin flying that fighter, taking out missiles and fighters and ships?
Yes, and yeah, he did remind me of a young Anakin, and as it would be expected, because Anakin was a great pilot, and Han Solo was a great pilot. So it runs in the family basically. Even though Han Solo is not a Skywalker, he was still a great pilot.
Yeah. So we see Kylo Ren blowing up stuff as well. He blows up a hangar with fighters and ships, and we see Poe Dameron go into the area where all ships are. That blows up, and he gets instantly blown back with BB-8 and everything. Next up, we see Kylo Ren. He locks a missile on Leia's position. You can see in the film that they're sensing each other, but Kylo Ren doesn't make the shot. But what we see is another shot of a First Order TIE Fighter pilot. He fires the shot, and then we've got a shot as well, Leia just looking, and the cockpit completely explodes. And basically, I don't know if it was about you, Alan, but going into the film, did you expect Leia to be killed off? Going back to December 2017, did you expect Leia to be killed off despite, unfortunately, Carrie Fisher passing away in December of 2016?
Yes and no. Because I know that they had plans for Leia's character before Carrie Fisher passed away, and well, I would have preferred it if they just ended it right there. That would have been a really a perfect way to go for Leia.
Yeah.
And I really liked the way that we go from Kylo to Leia as if they were looking at each other, and they were looking at each other through the Force, and you could really see the emotion. You could see, you could feel the the what they are feeling there. Kylo Ren is conflicted, and Leia is in a way trying to like telepathically bring him back to the light.
Yeah.
And I think it was one of the highlights of the movie. And even though we never see them on screen together, you can tell that she's his mom and he's her lost son.
Yeah, I totally agree with that as well, mate. Really, they've done that really, really well.
But yeah, when it comes to Leia, I think they should have ended it right there and there, and they could have easily done that. You know, editing is
yeah. Because we saw in Force Awakens Han Solo get killed off, but I honestly thought going into the film that we know that Carrie Fisher was passed away December 2016. We see the cockpit get blown up, and I'm thinking, right, I think it just ended now. That'd be like Carrie Fisher's last final stand. But obviously, what I'm going to point out next, they didn't. She apparently so-called survived, which was quite, I wouldn't say quite peculiar, but some people have survived in space before. Obviously, if you watch Avengers Infinity War, despite that coming out later on in 2018 of April, Thor survived, in fact, their space, but obviously he's a Norse god and everything. I'm only saying that because I watched Avengers Infinity War last night and everything.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I found really funny but very peculiar as well is we see Leia use the Force, which is not peculiar because we know her bloodline and everything, but she uses the Force and that she guides herself towards the crashed cockpit. And the one thing that really did make me laugh is watching it in the cinema, people were actually laughing. She did remind me of a Mary Poppins sort of character. Like she's got no umbrella, but yeah, I'm Leia, I'm using the Force. This is Mary Poppins or Princess Leia show, right?
Yeah.
So that was quite funny, but peculiar in a way, seeing her fly towards the part of the ship and eventually be saved and obviously in hospital for what has happened. But that was quite peculiar. I mean, what do you think of that, Alan? Like a Mary Poppins Leia?
I think that was totally possible. If the Force wills it, then you know there's no reason why she shouldn't be able to do that. But then again, if I was in the editing room, I would have ended it then and there.
Yeah, I think I'd have done the same as well. I don't think that flying scene in the film was literally worth it. So that's another thing to add to Rian Johnson's list, despite the boring and very awkward banter between Hux and Poe Dameron and Luke Skywalker's perspective on what has happened to him and everything. That could have been improved. And as we just mentioned as well, Leia flying across the space like Mary Poppins. So them scenes could have been avoided, but we'll get to more on that later on. Next up, we see we're back on the planet Jakku. We see Chewie eating some poles, looks like, and obviously the poles are all looking and thinking, what are you eating?
The planet's called Ahch-To.
Ahch-To, not
Ahch-To, yeah.
Jakku is the resistance planet they escaped. So Ahch-To, they're back on Ahch-To. We see Chewie eating poles. He scares them. They're annoying little shit. And then after that, we see Luke sneak onto the Millennium Falcon. We see him turn on the part of the engine or the lights.
Isn't the resistance-based system called Ilenium?
No, it's the Ilenium system. That's where part of the resistance base was before they escaped and went to the planet Crate. But yeah, it's called the Ilenium system.
Yeah.
So it's not far from planets like Geonosis, Tatooine, Kashyyyk. It's all like in the area where the planets are, the systems are. So as I said,
I'm just trying to figure out what planet you confused Ahch-To with.
Oh, Jakku. That's the resistance base. I don't know why I said Jakku. Jakku is the resistance base that was eventually destroyed, but Ahch-To is where Luke Skywalker is basically living there for the remainder of his days. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So as I mentioned, Luke sneaks into the Falcon, goes into the cockpit, and he discovers Han Solo's dice. Now, if you've recently watched the Solo Star Wars Story film, you'll see the dice in the film that has a huge resemblance to Han Solo about him gambling with obviously Lando Calrissian and many other players who play the game Sabak, which is
I have one question. Have you seen those dice anywhere in the original trilogy?
Off the top of my head, no. The only time I've seen it is Last Jedi in that cockpit scene with Luke. At the end with Kylo Ren discovering it and in Solo, but honestly I haven't seen Han Solo actually have. If I can remember, I think there's either a scene in A New Hope where we see something dangling from the ceiling where Luke, Obi-Wan, Han,
You know what? I'm just gonna look for a picture real quick.
Off the top of my head, I think we do or we do not see him, but I'll have to watch A New Hope again just to spot it. But I believe we do see something dangling from the ceiling, but I could be completely wrong. And that being said, I'm just going to quickly read the comments while you have a quick look at that, Alan.
Go ahead.
The Dogma has mentioned good to know, obviously how we're feeling and everything. And my good friend Frankie is in the chat. He said, "You keep saying every time we meet up, apparently he thinks I've got bigger in the arms and everything, but that's a compliment and I'll take that." So yeah, have you got bigger? I don't know. Have a look at the arms next time we see me. So yeah. So yeah, that's the comments being read. They've just been read. Anything come up, Alan?
He asked about your shelves, not your arms.
Did he?
Yeah.
Has your shelf gotten bigger? Oh god, mate, I'm fucking blind or some shit. I thought you mentioned my fucking arms because that's. Oh dear. Pull yourself together with that. Pull yourself together. Jesus. Sorry, I don't know. I think I'm hench now, so yeah. I've got that on the brain. He says, "Has your shelf gotten bigger or what?" The shelves haven't gotten bigger. I've just created some more space on them. Let me just move out of the way. There is some more space there for episode 9 figures and eventually more figures to come. I've just basically crammed all the figures in. And yeah, sorry, Alan. And Frankie, I thought you mentioned my arms. But yeah.
No worries, no worries.
They keep thinking I'm hench now, which is a compliment, even though I'm not really hench. So yeah. We'll move on from that ridiculous thing that's just come out of my mouth, but we'll move on. So yeah.
So yeah, I'm currently looking at pictures, and I think I'm seeing something, but very vaguely. So I'm gonna look for a better quality picture to confirm that.
Okay. With that being said, should I move on with the conversation?
In just a moment.
Okay, just a moment.
Yeah, no, the pictures here are kind of low quality. But yeah, I can see that something resembling the cubes like dangling up on the top of the cockpit, just very vaguely. But yeah, it's something that we never pay attention to, and I don't get it. I don't get why it should, why they decided to bring that up now. Clone Trooper Dogma in the chat says,
"Oh, I've read all the comments. You've read that one."
Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah. Moving on, as I mentioned, Luke's in the cockpit, and we see him talking to R2, and obviously he's telling him to watch his language and everything. And as you mentioned, Alan, earlier on about Luke Skywalker actually going back to the fight, not technically fighting with the Resistance, but having an influence on him. We see an original holocron from Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope, with Leia mentioned about helping everyone, you're my only hope and everything. So you can kind of see in Luke Skywalker's eyes that, yeah, I've seen something from my sister, I'm actually going to probably help them and everything. With that being said, previously we saw a conversation between Luke and Rey. He's mentioned that he's going to teach her 3 lessons about the Force and everything. So we're going to kind of see what Luke has to offer and what he's going to show Rey on the ways of the Force. Next up, we see a small brief meeting on the Resistance ship about obviously the losses that they've lost. Apart from Leia surviving, all the leaders have been killed, and a rest in peace to it's a trap. Admiral Akbar, he was killed as part of that attack by the First Order on the Resistance cockpit. So rest in peace to Admiral Akbar as well. But I think in 2017, the actor who did play Admiral Akbar died as well. I think that was a couple of months later. So Rest in peace to old Admiral Akbar. And then after that, we see the introduction to Vice Admiral Holdo, who is obviously, she's an Admiral, Vice Admiral Holdo, in the Resistance played by Laura Dern. And Anakin, again, I've called out Anakin. Alan's feelings on The Last Jedi, it's getting thicker and thicker by the stream as it goes on. Opinion on Admiral Holdo, Vice Admiral Holdo, Alan? Was she needed in the film, or yeah?
Yeah.
Move on.
That I'll find words later on.
Come on, I know you've been waiting absolutely ages to start this Last Jedi stream. I just want you to let rip and just say what you think about it. So if you do later on the stream, that's fine. But as you can tell, Alan
handled better. That's all I have to say.
Okay, we'll move on from that. So Vice Admiral Holdo, you should have done better. So obviously she's mentioned that they are the last lot of Resistance. They're always the bloody last lot of Resistance. Star Wars Rebels, we are the last remaining rebels. A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, we are a small remainder of the Resistance. So they're always struggling. And she mentions that they are the spike that will light up the fire and hopefully bring peace and justice.
You know what I feel like?
The Resistance.
You know what I feel like?
What's that?
I feel like a real leader in the Resistance would have come up with a plan and executed it right away. No delays, no bitching around.
Yeah,
like Holdo did.
Who would you have liked to see take over? Because obviously we saw from that as well. We saw Poe Dameron really taking the charge and everything, because he's quite demanding on what he thought of Vice Admiral Holdo and everything.
I mean, Admiral Akbar, man, he was right there.
Yeah, but the poor fucker got killed, didn't he? Oh no, I'm dead.
I mean, it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
I mean, it really wasn't necessary. That might have been his time to shine again.
Yeah.
On screen. And
as you can see, the Death Star is surrounded by a shield generator.
Classic.
Yeah. Poor old Akbar. You got some explaining to do, Ryan Johnson. Poor Akbar. So where was I? So she mentioned that they had a spark that will light up the fire, and another character Alan doesn't like. We see Rose meet Finn. Alan, he fucking hates Rose. So yeah, we see Rose introduced to Finn, and after that we see a holocron of Maz Kanata. She says intel on what is happening to the Resistance ship. It's being tracked through hyperspace, and there is a tracking device on the ship.
Finn should not have given a fuck about what Rose has to say, okay?
Yeah, he should have just stunned her. Like, fuck you, Rose. I know you've got to stun her, but I just like,
he should have just went, hi, bye.
Yeah.
Out.
I'm just checking escape pods. What's that? You close the door. Bye. You're dead.
No conversation needed.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
Yeah. But on the facts with Rose, I'm going to mention it now before I forget. The screen time that Rose had in the film, that should have been Finn's role. Rose's character should have been Finn. They've literally just reversed it. Finn got screen time, but not much character development. Where Rose, she should have just said a couple of words, left it at that, brushed aside, or even killed off. She's not needed. But Alan, your opinion on that?
I'm just gonna smile to the camera.
I'm just going to smile to the camera, and we're going to continue on with the stream.
Exactly.
Right, next up, we see Kylo Ren. We see Joy's treating his wounds and cutting his hair. Ray mentions that obviously he's a monster and everything. But the one thing I will say about The Last Jedi, despite having its flaws, it was really good to see a new false connection. Whereas later on in the film, we see Snoke says that he binded their minds together. But it's really cool to see Ray and Kylo Ren just connecting throughout the Force with visions and stuff. That was something really cool to see in a film that we haven't really seen before. So, credits to them.
Yeah.
I think it was.
I think it was also. It was. I think they did. That was an interesting thing to introduce to the franchise, considering that it's a vast galaxy out there, and the Force works in mysterious ways, and there are different creatures throughout the galaxy that have mastered the Force in different ways, and we get to see that with Snoke, and later on with Luke, and we see how Snoke brings Rey and Kylo together through the Force.
Yeah, so that was really good to see the new connection with Rey and Kylo Ren, which was Richie cool. That's
cool.
Cool.
It's cool. Like Snoke figured out how to basically FaceTime through the Force.
Yeah.
Darth Plagueis figured out how to cheat death.
Yeah. And with that being said, we see Rey shoot through the wall, and then creatures are not happy that they have to clear up Rey's mess.
Right.
So also we see Luke basically giving Rey a brief lesson about the Force. The Force is a living thing that surrounds living things and binds the galaxy together. Obviously, Obi-Wan mentioned that in the film, but we got a brief mention of that in The Last Jedi. So obviously, we see a little bit of sort of funny side to it, like he's like, reach out, Rey, and goes, "What's the Force?" I feel it, you feel it, and he whacks you on the hand and everything. Ow, that's not the Force. But the one thing
that was a leaf, damn it.
Yeah, that was a leaf, damn it. I can feel it, really. Touch it out, reach it. No, it's not. So yeah, next up we see Rey use the Force and gets deeper into the perception on what the Force is about, what it's like. We see Rey reach out, but obviously she's reaching out to the darker side of the Force. We know that the Force is connected with the dark and the lighter side of the Force, but we see Luke really trying to get, not under Rey's skin, but really try to teach you the knowledge on what the Force is about, why it surrounds living things, and why it's so important to the Jedi and the Sith and everything. But basically, we see Rey get deeper and deeper into the Force, but basically she goes to the dark side of the Force, but she doesn't pull herself back, which Luke says, "I've only seen that strength once before in Ben Solo. It scared me once, it does now. It didn't scare me before, it does now." So we've kind of seen that Rey could either go towards the dark side of the Force, but with that being said, she didn't really stop herself using the Force, but leading towards the darker side instead of using the balance to try and keep herself from going down that path. So that's something cool to see, that Luke has mentioned how Ben Solo used the Force and eventually turned towards the dark side of the Force. So that's really, really cool. As I mentioned, he mentioned that he's seen that strength once before in Ben Solo. Next up, we see other parts of the film, but it's not really important. We see Rey training with her lightsaber. She's obviously getting closer and closer to the rock. She cuts a large bit of rock, and you see them little people, just looks like shopping along the cliff, and just see a big ass rock completely take out their trolley, and they're upset and everything. So that was kind of funny to see. Next up, we see another part of the lesson where Luke is talking about Darth Sidious. He rose to power. The legacy is faded for the Jedi. He created the Galactic Empire. So that's cool to see a little bit of the original trilogy. Sorry, not the original trilogy, prequel trilogy being mentioned there. The Jedi, Luke was the Jedi who obviously saved Vader, the most hated man in the galaxy, basically brought him towards the light side of the Force with the skull of the Force. But as he mentioned in that, I became a legend. So we got a brief part of the prequel trilogy being mentioned there. So that's really cool to see on the perspective on what happened. But the one thing I will mention about that little bit of information that I've mentioned there is failure with the Jedi. Do you have anything to add there, Anna, about failure with the Jedi? Because it has been shown in the Clone Wars TV show and in the prequel films. Do you have anything to add?
if there's one thing that we see throughout the prequels is the Jedi Council failing as, you know, what they are supposed to represent.
Yeah.
And that is keepers of the peace.
But they are fighting a war for the Republic, so they're basically not even listening to their own demands and legacy.
But then again, it depends on your point of view. But what I'm saying is, the people, the people throughout the galaxy already had somewhat of a not so positive image on the Jedi during the prequel era, like especially during the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
people were starting to doubt the purpose of the Jedi, doubting their ways and yeah, so yeah, you could see basically they were failing from the beginning, but you know that's just the way it is, man. I mean, say what you will, but the Jedi, they were numbered.
Yeah,
they had numbers back in the day, and yeah, see that all just you know, go down by almost basically the snap of a finger.
Yeah.
To execute Order 66.
Darth Sidious is like Thanos' one.
Yeah, and yeah, so yeah, the theme of failure does reoccur in the Star Wars franchise,
especially with the Jedi.
Yeah,
as you said, they're meant to be peacekeepers, but they're going against their going against their own logic and basically their own beliefs on what the Jedi should be about.
Yeah, but that's also the thing, that it's also kind of it's kind of a way to show that that's the same case in real life, that you in life you learn from your mistakes, you learn from your failures. And yeah, that's that's the way.
Yeah, that's pretty much
it. I believe that every side of the war, of any war, has made mistakes and has been failing, not just the Jedi. But yeah, that's when you got this evil mastermind controlling every basic of every event in that era, there's not much you can do.
No, there's not much. No.
I'd say so. Yeah, they couldn't. I mean, there's nothing really that could have been done about it.
Yeah, great. Well said, Alan. Well said. Next up, I'm going to mention about these small flashback scenes that we've mentioned. That I mentioned just briefly in the stream. We see Luke tell the story on Ben Solo, how he destroyed what he started with. So we know, for instance, that Luke, he went off to train the new generation of Jedi. Ben Solo was his student, his nephew. Snoke seduced him to the dark side of the Force, turned against him, took a handful of his students, and basically destroyed everything that Luke's worked for. But going back to what I literally just mentioned there about taking a handful of students, Alan, would you agree with me that them students could have been the Knights of Ren, but we only saw a very small cameo in The Force Awakens, literally a 5-second cameo?
Who else?
Yeah, basically, who else? But hopefully with them Knights of Ren, they will hopefully appear in episode 9. But we'll wait and see what happens. So it's cool to see a small flashback scene on what Ben Solo was like and how he turned to the dark side. Next up,
it's funny that they introduced Praetorian guards on screen before they bring the actual Knights of Ren.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
But I guess they're like I guess the Knights of Ren are more like Inquisitors, and they're scattered around throughout the galaxy.
Yeah.
Maybe each one has their his own mission or something, or yeah, I don't know. It's to be maybe they won't even bring them on screen. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll wait and see. Yeah.
But I mean, they should. Then they should bring them on screen.
Yeah.
The Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
Kylo is their leader, and now he is the supreme leader, I guess.
Basically, yeah, the new supreme leader. One thing I did forget to mention about the Maz Kanata scene, she mentioned about that they have to go to Canto Bight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mention that now. And the one thing I do not like about this movie is the Canto Bight scenes. I think they should have been. They shouldn't even been made. They should never have been made. I thought the Canto Bight scenes were basically a rip-off of the Cantina scene in Star Wars Episode 4. I would hope. The Cantina Bight scene should have never been made. I think that is a small downfall to the movie. It should have never been made. And basically, honest reason, basically it was shit. It should have never been made. Moving on. Anna has the exact same feelings, but I'll speak on Anna's behalf. Next up, we see Finn and Rose discover DJ, obviously the stuttering sort of code breaker.
That was a funny character, I'd say.
Yeah, very funny character by Benicio del Toro. We see them escape.
Kind of reminded me of Hondo.
Yeah.
In his personality, I mean.
Yeah. So we see Finn, Rose, DJ, and BB-8 escape. And then we see Luke uses the Force to try and connect with Leia, because obviously we've seen Leia be injured in the film. Obviously she wakes up. Well, she doesn't really wake up. She just says Luke and everything. And one thing I found really bizarre in the new Force connection thing between Rey and Kylo Ren was Kylo Ren was topless. So getting his pecs out, showing the camera, I thought that was a bit stupid.
Oh, come on. Like, you've never seen a topless Force-wielding character before. Come on. Grow up.
I'm joking. I'm trying to think. Have we seen topless characters in Star Wars?
We've seen Anakin.
Yeah, Anakin. Rex in Clone Wars.
We've seen Rex in Clone Wars. But
yeah. Kylo Ren showing
we've seen Kit Fisto.
Yeah, henchman.
Topless.
Yeah, but yeah, he's topless. So yeah, topless.
I don't know why we're even discussing this. Why is it such a meme?
Yeah, why is it a meme? Literally, fucking.
Why is it even? Why is it even a subject? I mean, it's,
Moving on.
Yeah.
So we see, as I mentioned as well, with the flashback scenes, we see Luke. He senses Ben Solo's power, and obviously Ben Solo, he had a blue lightsaber in the flashback scene. So that was really, really cool to see. But one thing I will mention is
blue.
He had a blue lightsaber, Ben Solo, but later on we explain it. But why didn't Luke use his green lightsaber? Why? He should have used it in the duel between Ben Solo and Luke. But we'll talk about that later on. As Anna mentioned earlier on, he says, let the past die, kill it if you have to, and everything. Later on we see a vision that Rey falls into the water. She sees visions of herself with Kylo Ren, basically what the Force is about. We see Rey and Kylo Ren touch hands. We see Rey and Luke confront each other, saying that she's seen darkness and everything. But I thought that's a bit stupid. Two characters fighting with fucking sticks and everything. Like, for fuck's sake, use the lightsaber. That was crap. But we're going to move on from that. We see, as I mentioned in the flashback scene, we see Luke use his lightsaber, but it's not on him. And then we see Rey and Chewie leave Luke on the planet Act 2. And after Rey and Chewie leave, we see Luke dress up in his Jedi robes. And I mentioned it in the Last Jedi official trailer reaction. I mentioned it that we'll probably see this character. We see Yoda in the film. We see Yoda appear when Luke's about to burn the ancient Jedi tree with the ancient texts.
Wait, what? Wait, we're already there?
Yeah, we're there already. Yeah,
Holy shit!
all my notes are there already. Opinions, Alan? Was it cool to see Yoda on the big screen again?
Yeah, it was cool to see it on the big screen again. There was something missing though, and that is the transparency of the figure. I mean, he's a force ghost, and you're supposed to see through the ghost, but you don't see through him.
No, you just see his green skin.
You see him as if he was physically there,
but just a little line,
in the flash, and there's just like a blue glow around his silhouette.
Yeah, yeah. So that could have been done better, I think.
Yeah.
If I'm correct, Alan, did they use the original puppet for that scene?
I couldn't tell. It didn't look like the original puppet to me.
No,
it looked like a new puppet to me.
I know,
but I could be mistaken.
If I can remember, they did use a puppet for that scene, but as being said, I don't think it was the original puppet.
I don't think so either.
It was really good to see.
I think the original puppet is in a museum somewhere.
Yeah, it's probably in the Lucasfilm archives and Star Wars.
Exactly.
Everything. So yeah, it's really, really good to see Yoda and everything. He's mentioned that, passed on what you have learned, and mentioned that in the Clone Wars as well. Greatest teacher is failure, and we just see Luke and Yoda chilling as well, and the ancient Jedi tree is literally just burning. So it's good to see that little green fella on the big screen again. And I predicted something right in the trailer that we would possibly see Yoda on the big screen. So that being said, we're going to move on. Is there any?
Would have liked to see Anakin.
Yeah, it would be nice to see Anakin. Yeah. Is there any new comments to be read on?
No.
You sure?
100%.
Let me just check.
I'll refresh again.
Yeah, refresh the screen. So I think I may have seen some.
Yeah, there was one more comment, but it was deleted.
Oh. Oh, there's a comment from Clone Trooper Dogma. Have you read that?
Yeah. Yeah. There was a comment and it got retracted. I don't know. He retracted it.
On my screen it says, "Hey guys, I have good news. I've bought Captain Rex Commander Wolf from the Black Series." Well done.
But haven't you read that before?
No, I don't think I've read that. No, I think it was just a new comment. I haven't come across that.
Because when I was about to read it, you told me that you've already read it.
Oh, did I? Oh, I thought you meant like.
Yeah.
I thought you meant about the part where it said "good to know" and everything. Okay, I do apologise for that.
But now that you mention it, there are new comments now from Clone Trooper Dogma. He says, "Too bad Anakin was not in The Last Jedi or Obi-Wan." Yeah.
Yeah, but we probably might.
I don't know if Obi-Wan had anything to do really. I mean, he could have. They could have replaced. They could have replaced Yoda with Obi-Wan, I guess, and it would have made. It wouldn't have. But no, I guess Yoda would make more sense to have the power of lightning.
Yeah, struck on the tree and everything. Yeah,
but yeah,
but I don't know. If I'm being perfectly honest, it'd be best to see Anakin and Obi-Wan in Episode 9 than in Episode 8. But that's just my opinion being said. Moving on, we see obviously Poe Dameron. He doesn't agree with Admiral Holdo's abandoned ship method. Obviously, they're fueling up the transport ships to go to the planet Crate. We see Rey leave the Falcon and she goes to Kylo Ren's ship as well. So we see Rey going to Kylo Ren's, Supreme Leader Snoke's ship. We see a brief scene in the elevator where Kylo Ren mentions that he's seen Rey's parents, and eventually later on in the scenes that were filmed, he mentions that they were just junkers and basically they're buried somewhere in the Jakku Desert. And then we see some more shit happening with DJ, Finn, and Rose, and eventually Captain Phasma captures Finn, Poe, BB-8. So she actually captures Finn, Poe, and DJ, but BB-8 sneaks off somewhere. And eventually we see Princess Leia awake, and eventually she stuns Poe down. Next up, where are we? We see Snoke use the Force on Rey. Looks like he's using some sort of terrible power. And as Alan mentioned earlier on in the stream, we see Snoke mentioning bridges their minds together. Anything to add there, Alan?
We learned that's what was happening.
Yeah. So that's what we learned. Next up, we see Hux, who slaps Finn. DJ is a traitor. He's obviously working for the First Order. He gets his credits.
No, he wasn't working for the First Order. He just made a new deal. He improvised.
Oh, sorry. He wasn't He wasn't working. He made a new deal to turn him in to obviously get Republic credits.
Yeah, he just wanted to save his own ass, and he managed to do it. So there it is.
There it is. Yeah. Talking about that scene there. Before they were obviously quickly interrogated by Hux and Phasma, there was a deleted scene where you see Tom Hardy talking to Finn in a sort of American accent. But I believe the two stormtroopers behind Tom Hardy's cameo in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, they were played by Prince Harry and Prince William, part of the royal family. So there's a quick fun fact there for anyone who's interested in the deleted scenes.
Sure.
In the film. And then we see Rey eventually be interrogated by Snoke. She gets up, she takes Kylo Ren's lightsaber. Snoke mentions that is the spirit of a true Jedi Knight. And the one thing I did really like about this film, but didn't see it coming, was Supreme Leader Snoke getting killed. And the good thing about this film is I thought it was really sick how Snoke got killed. Because obviously what I'm going to mention now is we see Kylo Ren, he uses the Force to ignite the Skywalker lightsaber. And obviously Snoke mentions, he says, kills its true enemy. And then we see Snoke get killed and the lightsaber just goes across the screen. And not poor fucker, but the ugly fucker is literally cut in half. And we see some some really cool shit go down. The one thing that I've mentioned in my notes here, Adam, is I think that Supreme Leader Snoke was blinded by his arrogance of Kylo Ren. I didn't expect something like that to happen. Do you have anything else to add on that?
Well, first of all, you're right. And second of all, that was hilarious. I laughed my ass off when I saw that in the theaters for the first time.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you. Now everybody and their mother can shut up about their freaking
Snoke theories.
Thank you.
Basically, what happened there is Snoke theories. He's gone, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You're dead, Snoke. He basically has done that. I thought it was hilarious. But as you said, I'm thinking, for thank Christ, all them Snoke theories, they're all dead now. He's dead. Shut the fuck up.
I think people misinterpreted. I think people misled themselves into thinking that Snoke was gonna be a big deal in this trilogy, because he's basically the exact same. He plays the exact same role as the Emperor did back in the original trilogy.
But the Emperor was badass.
And that was absolutely fine. And that was fine because from the beginning we knew that our main antagonist was Darth Vader.
Yeah.
We knew, and that. Later on we learned that Vader has a superior, but that does not make Vader superior, the main antagonist of the movie. and that shouldn't be the same case for the sequel trilogy. We know the main antagonist for the sequel trilogy is Kylo Ren, and his character is being written in a bit more complicated way than Vader's, but that does not change the fact that, you know, although that Kylo Ren, you know, is more conflicted inside than what we saw in Darth Vader back in the original trilogy.
Yeah,
we see half good, half bad, but Kylo Ren is the main antagonist of this trilogy, not Snoke.
No, Snoke is just like a sort of character that's just been pushed aside a bit. We know about him. Not everything about him, but we know some things about him. But that being said about Kylo Ren being their main antagonist, Kylo Ren's emotions in the films, would you have liked to see that portrayed more in a younger Anakin, or do you think Kylo Ren has used that well? What do you think? Do you think Anakin should have been the Kylo Ren of the prequel trilogy?
I think everything was well done. I don't have anything to complain about when it comes to Kylo Ren and his inner conflicts.
Yeah.
Killing his dad was a bit extreme, I'd say.
Yeah, I said that as well. Yeah.
But you see how he, like, inside you can see that deep down he regrets that.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, he might have gone a bit too far, but well, he was trying to prove himself, and you know, just I don't really know what to say, what else to add about that. I mean, could have been easily avoided. I think I would have also forgiven him if he didn't kill Han Solo and just you know, came back home like a little bitch.
Yeah, but in that case, as I mentioned earlier on, he didn't pull the trigger to kill his mother, so there's kind of sort of good in him in a way. He's just killed his father. Does he want to be that even more? And a monster to kill his mother?
It's not like, you know, it's not like he had perfect relations with his family. I don't. From what I heard, Han and Leia weren't very good parents. They didn't really know how to control Kylo, and their solution was, let's send him to Luke.
Yeah. You can't control our little shit, so send him off to his uncle.
So in a way, I see why it was maybe easier for Ben to kill Han, and I see how it makes for a good like plot device.
Yeah.
Back to my point. Kylo Ren is the main antagonist of this trilogy, and Snoke was not. Snoke was his master. Snoke was the Emperor figure in this trilogy, and you know, the Emperor died, so should Snoke. Snoke should not have. You know, people should not have made speculations and theories on who the hell he is. Because I don't believe people did that back in the day, like when they saw Empire Strikes Back, when they saw the Emperor for the first time in hologram form.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Say the prequel trilogy and everything, but yeah. Some fans take it too far and basically ruin it for themselves going into the film. Because if they think about stuff going into the film, what's going to happen, then it's just going to ruin your perspective of the film, you're going to enjoy it less, and basically you're going to come out with either a sore head thinking, why the fuck did I listen to all these random pieces of bollocks on the internet? Where going into your film, clear your mind, relax, enjoy, you get the Star Wars film, and just have your own opinion about it later on after the film. So yeah, as you mentioned, yeah, Kylo Ren is the main antagonist in this trilogy. Darth Vader was the main antagonist in the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy. Just briefly mentioned the main antagonist. We kind of knew in a way Darth Sidious would have something to play in the Phantom Menace. We saw Darth Maul get killed. Count Dooku, he was pretty cool, but obviously got killed in the start of Revenge of the Sith. So I don't know. Main antagonist for you in the prequel trilogy, Alan? What would you say? Would you say it was like basically Darth Sidious, despite not seeing him a lot on screen time instead of Revenge of the Sith when it was made?
I wouldn't. You see, that's a tricky one.
It is. It's a tricky one
because there's a main antagonist for each movie. In the Phantom Menace, the main antagonist was Darth Maul. I feel like.
Yeah, I felt like that.
Or maybe it was. It was either Darth Maul or the Viceroy Newt Gunray. I think so. Or even maybe Darth Sidious, but again, like the bad guy that we see defeated at the end is Darth Maul. The guy basically all the bad guys are defeated at the end, but the main bad guy that we care about that gets defeated at the end is Darth Maul. I mean, Darth Maul is the Phantom Menace.
He is, yeah.
He's the title of the movie, I feel like. And then in Attack of the Clones, I believe it was more. Yeah, I believe that in there it was more obvious that Count Dooku was the main antagonist, but again, it's debatable. I think. I feel like there's many ways to interpret to interpret the subject, because you could also as easily say that the main antagonist was the separatist cause as a whole, because there were so many characters involved in that, and it started as just a small part of the Trade Federation, and then Count Dooku turned to the dark side and he basically gave the push that the Trade Federation needed to become the separatists, and he drew more and more people to the cause, that it was more than a federation. It became a separatist. It became a cause, and but as far as, oh god damn it, sorry, my family are making noises, but yeah, it's more. I think for the prequel trilogy, it's a bit more tricky, but I think the main antagonist for each movie is the dark side force wielder that's wielding a lightsaber, that we see him wielding a lightsaber. So in the Phantom Menace case, it would be Darth Maul. In the Attack of the Clones case, it would be Count Dooku, and then for Revenge of the Sith, the main antagonist is Darth Sidious.
Darth Sidious leads in with Anakin as well, but mainly Darth
well,
Sidious.
Anakin is the hero that is falling, so he's not really the villain here. He's more the victim.
Yeah. And then throughout the Clone Wars TV show, you can see that Darth Sidious plays a role in that. We've obviously, as you mentioned, other iconic Star Wars characters that we've come to love as well, and then the same with Rebels as well. So, yeah, every bit of Star Wars has its main antagonist, and yeah, that's pretty much it, really. As we mentioned before, we mentioned about the antagonist and everything. We see what I'm going to mention now is we see the cool fight that I really did enjoy about The Last Jedi, and it's one of my favourite parts of the film. We see Rey and Kylo Ren fighting the elite Praetorian Guards, and I thought that was really, really cool. Anything to add on that, Alan?
Yeah, that was probably seen in the movie. Very cool choreography.
Yeah, I thought it was class. Really, they really portrayed the characters really well on them scenes.
Yeah, the Praetorian Guards really, I think they're the first kind of foot soldiers that live up to their supposed reputation of being badasses. They were almost a match for Rey and Kylo.
They were indeed, yeah. They were.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool scene
there. They didn't even wield lightsabers.
No, they just had like their own false sort of pikes things, sort of weapons, which were really cool.
Yeah. You have the Last Jedi visual dictionary, right?
I do indeed, yeah. I can quickly get that out.
Any idea where those weapons come from, or like how they can like resist to lightsabers?
Let's have a look. I've got it in front of me there. Let's have a look. Right, the blades. I've just looked at one of the images of the elite Praetorian Guards.
Valerian steel.
Yeah, it's an electro blade that runs parallel to a vibro blade. So it's obviously a long ass blade there.
Right.
It's just obviously symbolic red armor as well. The elite Praetorian Guards flank Snoke's room, their red armor blending into their curtain that surrounds the chamber. They stand as implaceable, unmoving soldiers. But should any hostility service from Snoke's rare invited guests, they snap instantly into combat scenes. And there's another big version of the elite Praetorian Guards there. I'm just going to quickly have a look. So they've got like electroplasma blades that can fight. 8 soldiers make up the Praetorian Guards with their identities being completely concealed. The First Order heavily favours them, and they actually they fight in 4 sets of pairs, with each pair branding the same weapons. The Praetorian weapons, there's a Belair Electro Train Whip, there's a twin vibro blade, there's an electro blade, and there's a vibro blade. And these carry weapons at high-tech versions of unpowered blades. They come across from the galaxy. Each tempered metal blade is connected to a compact generator that creates a high frequency vibration across the cutting edge. Parallel to each cutting edge, an electrophasma blade that creates a blade matching up to a lightsaber. So basically what they are is they're basically blades that can match lightsabers, kind of like, say, the dark saber in a way, or say do you know, like from Revenge of the Sith, the Magna Guard's spear that they can fight with lightsabers, really. But yeah, but they're pretty cool. They're really cool. I mean, we didn't really see the Emperor's Guard fight in the original trilogy, and we saw them in the prequel trilogy as well. But showing you there, I mean, you can see the weapons there with my fingers are on them.
Yeah.
They look they're pretty cool, the Elite Praetorian Guards, but their weapons are really cool, and they can literally match any Jedi lightsaber. So a little history lesson there to learn. Moving on, we're coming up to the scene where we see Finn and Rose supposedly going to be executed, but obviously we don't see them be executed.
Skip.
What I'd like to quickly mention is that I don't know if it's never been used before, but they actually swore in a Star Wars film. Finn says the word bastard.
Who cares?
Who cares? He said bastard. Who gives a fuck? It's the first swear word in the Star Wars universe. We see Rey throw a lightsaber to Kylo Ren to save him from the Elite Praetorian Guard. Kylo Ren mentions that Rey's parents were junkies. They were nobody. After that, we see Rey and Kylo Ren use the Force on the Skywalker lightsaber and eventually breaks in half with 2 pieces of lightsaber going elsewhere. Next up, a big down thing thrown. We see Admiral Holdo. She sacrifices herself and uses lightspeed to ram into Snoke's ship and blast it in half. It kills many ships, and the rebel ships are able to escape. After that, we see Finn and Phasma 1v1. And after that, we see BB-8 provide cover fire. And then shit happens, and we see Phasma get smacked in the face by Finn. We see her eye. She mentions that you're always rebel scum. Phasma falls onto a bit of debris. It goes down, and Phasma is dead. And I know you've mentioned this before. Adam, what do you think of Phasma? Should she have been killed off? Is she another Boba Fett that got hyped up and eventually dies? What's your opinion on that scene?
She should die. She should be dead after that. Because as far as I know, she was sucked into space, right?
Yeah.
Unless some shuttle picked her up from under the ship. I don't know. I mean, at this point, anything could happen. They could pull up any excuse in the book. It would be hilarious to see her come back in episode 9, just for the fun of it. But in my opinion, I think they should rest her case now.
Yeah, she's dead. She's brown bread. We'll leave it at that. And it's really cool to see part of her.
She put up a good fight.
She did. It was really cool to see part of her helmet be ripped off. So we saw part of Gwendolyn Christie's eye, which was very, very cool. But they've released a Black Series version figure of that.
Really, and I think it's a shame that they didn't include that bit in the deleted scenes where Finn was like he was surrounded by Phasma and a few stormtroopers, and he was like, "Hey, how about I tell them the little secret of how you were stuck in the trash compactor when and how you lowered the shields back in Starkiller Base, how you went out like a little bitch." And then when we see when we see the stormtroopers kind of beginning to distrust Phasma, and we see that, and then she pulls up her handgun out of nowhere and shoots them all like in a span of a couple of seconds.
Yeah,
that was so badass. Should have seen that.
Maybe that should be.
I don't know. I don't understand why they cut that off. I think that was so badass. I think they should have left that in.
Yeah, I think so too. So after we've seen all that devastation, we see Finn and Rose and BB-8 escape, and then after that we see General Hux go into the throne room, and we've literally just seen Snoke's face on the floor with his tongue out. I know Alan.
Wait, Hux is still alive?
He's still alive. Wow, he's still alive.
Hux is in this movie. I forgot.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I did like about that scene where you see Snoke on the floor, you just see him dead with his tongue out, and the body literally just falls on the floor. He got his hand on his side of his chair, and he's like, "Yeah, the rest of the body's on the floor."
Skip.
What happened? Skip. So we see Ren's on the floor, and you see one thing you see as well. You see like Hux slowly go to his jacket, pull out.
Well, I think you still. I think we skipped a bit far there. I mean, I don't think you mentioned when after Rey and Kylo fight the Praetorian Guards, the decision that I mean when Kylo was trying to seduce Rey to to his side and to join him and you know just start their own thing.
Oh yeah. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, I quickly mention it again because obviously we saw in the film that Kylo Ren wanted Rey to join him. So you're always holding on, you're not thinking straight. Basically, he wanted to rule the galaxy with Rey. And that's an excellent point what you just mentioned there, because I completely forgot about that.
What might have been?
What might have been? Well, as I said, we see Ren. Hux thinks he's dead. He pulls out his pistol, but completely puts it back in. We see Kylo Ren force choke Rey. He's like, "Long live the Supreme Leader." And then as I said, we see Finn and Rose escape. They reach the base on Crate with some big ass.
You said Kylo force choked Rey.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
Yeah.
Rey. Come on. Kylo Ren force choked General Hux, and he mentioned that he was the new Supreme Leader. There we go. Always can rely on one. And then we see Finn and Rose's ship on the planet Crate. It eventually crashes, and eventually
the Skywalker lightsaber is broken.
Yeah, the Skywalker lightsaber is broken.
That's also something that should have been mentioned, but yeah.
I did mention that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I mentioned that when they were using the Force, it broke in half, and there's two parts to it. Yeah, I mentioned that.
The last icon of this franchise torn in half.
Torn in half, yeah, torn in half. And then we see First Order vehicles on the planet of Crates. We see a battery ram cannon, which can destroy so much shit and everything. And then we see like some new AT, what they called? They're like attacks, aren't they? They're the just bloody put the Last Jedi dictionary in there. What's them vehicles called? Oh god, let's have a look. What is the name of that vehicle? The First Order Invasion, the ATM-6, and the Super Laser Siege Cannon. So there's some of the weapons that were used in the film there, which are really, really cool.
Oh, you mean the discount AT-80s?
Yeah, the ATM-6.
AKA the Gorilla Walkers.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. So we saw them deployed to the planet, which is really, really cool. But that being said, Alan, while I'm away, I just need to quickly go to the toilet, so I'll be literally a minute.
Go ahead.
Won't be a tick.
So, what's up? People in the chat, you still there? Give us a sign if you're still here, if you're still alive, if you're still watching. Let's interact in the 30 seconds that we have left before Jack comes back. Let us know in the comments What was your favorite moment from The Last Jedi? And also, let us know what was your least favorite moment from Last Jedi.
Hello.
Jack, your t-shirt is marvelous.
Thank you. Let me get up and show the viewers and everything. So yeah, this was a t-shirt I got made for the channel. Let me just move it out of the way. So yeah, that is the Jedi Master 98 t-shirt. I'm really chuffed with that. So yeah, hope you're all chuffed with that as well. So yeah, t-shirt. Thank you very much for that, Alan. Cheers.
Cheers.
Where was we? We mentioned about them new vehicles, didn't we? I forgot off the top of my head.
We're on Crate already.
We're on Battle of Crate, yeah. God, it's gone fast. All right. So I mentioned that. So obviously we had the invasion of Crate, the first order vehicles invading the planet, which looked really, really cool. And we see them deploy them on the planet. And I don't know if you noticed it the first time round watching the film, Alan, there was an appearance from Gareth Edwards. He was a resistance foot soldier, and obviously, as we know, he's the director of Rogue One. Can you remember going to the cinema and seeing Gareth Edwards on the screen? Like, did you spot it straight away, or did you have to watch it again and say, "Oh, I know that's Gareth Edwards"?
I don't think I recognized them at first, but later on when I watched when I watched like video reviews and Easter egg videos about the movie, and that when that was mentioned, then you know eventually I got it.
Yeah, that was really, really cool. Next up, we see obviously the rebels chatting and everything, thinking what they're going to do.
It was a stupid moment, though.
Yeah. Okay. Before we see the actual battle take place even further, we see obviously the resistance. They're chatting and everything, and they use these really old vehicles. I don't know if they were like old rebel vehicles, and I don't really know the name of them off the top of my head. So
I don't know either, man.
Back to the dictionary again. But yeah, they were obviously charging at the enemies and using some very peculiar old vehicles from the older times of the Rebel Alliance, because obviously the Battle of Crate, that base was obviously an abandoned Rebel Alliance base from the original trilogy. Urban vehicles. The vehicle is called a V4XD ski speeder.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. Just at the bottom there. Oh, there you are. All the figures on. That's it. You were saying, Alan, sorry?
Speaking of Crate, Clone Trooper Dogma in the comments asks, "What did you guys think of the Ice Wolves?"
Not really too fast, really. They're just animals on the screen. Yeah, they're just an animal. Clever made. Obviously, from the behind the scenes video I watched of The Last Jedi, but yeah, they're just ice wolves.
I really didn't care for them.
No, I can give it monkeys. Anyway, moving on.
And I'll explain in better detail later why.
Anyway, where were we? So we see the Battle of Crate. It happens. We see Poe Dameron, Finn, Rose, and a couple of other rebel soldiers attacking the AT-M6 walkers, even though they're not going to have much effect on them. We see the Falcon. It comes into play. And when the Falcon comes into play, we see Kylo Ren absolutely pissed off, shoot that piece of junk out of the sky. Then later on, they split up and they fall back to the base, and Finn wants to sacrifice himself for blowing up the cannon. With that scene, Alan, would you have liked to seen Finn sacrifice himself or save himself for another day? Like, what was your thing? Do you think Finn should have died, or do you think Rose should have sacrificed herself instead? I mean, that's what I like to see.
I think that it would have been a great end for his character arc, but at the same time, it would feel a bit rushed because it's only the second movie in the what's supposed to be a trilogy, and he is one of the main characters.
He is, yeah.
If not the main character, what's supposed to be the main character of this trilogy. And so I understand why I understand the decision of not wanting to kill him off, but the way they did it was cringeworthy, and I mean, if I knew that was the way they were to save him, I would have let him die, because that was a perfect sacrifice moment, and it was just ruined when Rose
Rose stopped him,
forced herself in the camera again.
Yeah,
God damn it!
Alan doesn't like Rose, and then we eventually see Rose and Finn kiss, and then he's like, I couldn't give a fuck, kill her off.
Anyway,
we're gonna move on again. Aaron fucking hates Rose and random shit.
Let's say the more we avoid talking about her, the better.
Well, mate, later on, when we eventually end what we're talking about, the main part of the film, you can literally, as I said at the start of the stream, rip The Last Jedi in your arsehole. Next up, I feel we're going to talk about, I think, one of the more emotional scenes of the film is we see Luke appear with Leia. She's mentioned that obviously you can't really stop Ben Solo. I think the really nice thing about that emotional scene is obviously we know about Carrie Fisher's passing in 2016, but it's really nice to see Luke and Leia hold hands in an emotional scene. We see Luke kiss her head, and obviously C-3PO mentions Master Skywalker and he gives him like a little cheeky ring to say, what up, man? I ain't seen my gold bro in about what? Several months or several years. I was like, yeah, nice to see you, C-3PO. So that was really nice to see. A really nice emotional scene there. And we see Luke Skywalker walk out to face the First Order. And from my personal experience watching that film, I'm thinking, what the hell? Luke's turned up, not too late. He's got a fresh trim. The beard's been trimmed. It's been dyed. He's looking sharp. Mark Hamill's looking so sick. He's got the cool Jedi robe on as well. I'm thinking, bloody hell, you must have had a bloody good Jedi barber and everything. I mean, what do you think of Alan? Did you kind of think Luke wasn't himself in that scene, or do you think, he's actually going to come back and restore peace for the rebellion?
I was like, something's going on here.
That it? Just something's going on?
Yeah, something's not right here.
Yeah. As I said, mate, you must have had a sick barber. Like, fresh trim of the beard, fresh hair, fresh crepes, fresh outfit. He was looking sharp, mate. The guy was looking sharp. Anyway, I'm going to move on again. We see Luke obviously walk out to face the First Order, and obviously Kylo Ren mentions, I want every gun on that man. And he literally just fires so many cannons, you shout out, that's enough. But one thing that did make me laugh about that scene is we see Luke still standing, and Luke's just like, come at me, bitch. So that was also a pretty fun scene, I'd say. That was fun, yeah.
I also laughed my ass off in the theater when I saw that.
Yeah. And eventually we see Kylo Ren go down to face Luke. But instantly, I mean, I didn't really notice it at first when watching the film, but we see Luke use the Skywalker lightsaber, where we know from the scene with Kylo Ren and Rey, it's broken in half. So did you kind of suspect that it wasn't him on that planet, or was you thinking, he's just got a spare one back on Act 2 in some box? Because that's the one thing that I was a little bit disappointed with that scene with Kylo Ren and Luke. I really wanted him to use his green lightsaber.
Me too.
I mean, would you the same, Adam? Like thinking he must have the the green lightsaber somewhere. At least use that, because it's nice to see the iconic Skywalker lightsaber. But I said, man, why didn't they use the green lightsaber?
Why indeed?
Why indeed? Because it's a really cool lightsaber that we saw in Return of the Jedi and in the flashbacks of the Last Jedi. But yeah, the only bit disappointed about that scene is no green lightsaber, but it is what it is. But as I said, watching the film for the first time in a cinema, I didn't suspect something suspicious would happen. I was kind of thinking when I watched the films again, oh, he's got the blue lightsaber. But as people didn't clock, or people did clock, like when you saw him walking on the planet, you didn't see like the red foot stains because it was salt, wasn't it? Whereas with Luke, he was walking, there was no like dirt being dragged underfoot and everything. So that was another thing I didn't suspect. So we see Luke and Ren confront each other. Luke mentions that the rebellion is born today, is reborn today, and I will no longer be the last Jedi. And then once the resistance, moving back a little bit, once the resistance troops and everyone has moved, Poe Dameron mentioned that Skywalker is buying us time. He's making the resistance survive, and eventually the Crystal Walls go and they eventually escape out the back way. We eventually see Rey move the rocks, where Luke said it's not about using the Force and moving rocks, whereas in The Empire Strikes Back, we see Luke move rocks. We see Rey and Finn hug. They hugged. They hugged. So yeah, they're happy to see each other. And then we see Luke use the Force to engage with Ren. We see Luke on his island, which I thought was really, really cool. Do you have anything to add there, Alan, about Luke using the Force to try and manipulate his nephew?
Great job, Luke.
Nothing else to add again? Just like, well, okay. No, nothing else to add. We'll move on again. Obviously see you around, kid. And everything.
Yeah, I guess I did miss the green lightsaber there. I think he should have used that. But
got some explaining to do, Ryan Johnson.
But yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And eventually we hear the iconic music, and I didn't expect it to happen, but it was bound to happen either in the film. We see Luke Skywalker die, and he sacrificed himself for his resistance friends and his sister. So I didn't expect that coming from the film, but Luke died a hero. We see Kylo Ren.
It could have been easily avoided. There were other ways of winning that fight. I mean, yeah, I give up. Let's just finish the stream.
Yeah, we'll finish the stream. Yeah. So we see Luke die. We see Kylo Ren walk into the base with First Order snowtroopers. He picks up his father's lucky gold dice, but they disappear. After that, we see Rey and Leia talk about Luke, saying that he's gone, but I can still feel him. We see a little boy use the Force to grab a broom. Some people don't get it, but if you watch the Theory films and videos, you can see him use the film. And eventually, the Last Jedi is ended. Did you have any questions about the ending, Alan? Anything to add about the ending? Do you think the little boy with the fucking broom using the Force, do you think that could have been avoided, or could that be the start of another generation of Jedi?
I don't know what you're talking about. For me, the movie ended when they were all in the Millennium Falcon and I don't know what you're talking about.
Fuck that little boy. Fucking, we don't give a care. See you later on. Bye-bye.
I don't know.
So yeah, that being said, that is pretty much it for the Last Jedi stream. We've spoken about the film and everything. Alan, is there anything else you want to talk about the Last Jedi? Because I'm dying to hear you ripping it a new arsehole.
Okay.
Come on, let rip. Please let rip. I can't wait. Rip.
For me, The Last Jedi is I don't like that movie. I'm sorry. Okay. It was an enjoyable experience at the movie theater when I went to see it for the first time. I'll give you that. But everything, when you break it all down, the movie itself, everything, everything, it did not feel at all like a Star Wars movie to me. You know, all the way from the story to the visuals, like the camera work, the to the very light in the lightsabers. The aesthetics of the movie and everything just did not feel like Star Wars to me. To me, Star Wars, the right aesthetics can be seen right back in the prequel trilogy with the somewhat bad visual effects, but I get that now, puppetry has evolved and visual effects and CGI has evolved since then, and ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, they have a new tech and whatnot. I get that, but it just did not. I did some of the, especially some of the visual effects, like felt not Star Wars like to me. Like, for example, I hate even in the Force Awakens, I hate that there were lens flare effects whenever there was a laser being shot or seen at a scene.
Come on, Alan, more, let it rip, more.
Yeah, I'm getting there. The camera work, some of it was a bit too much, and the new characters also that were introduced, I think they were really unnecessary.
Rose.
You know who I'm talking about.
Rose. Come on, more, Alan, more. Rip it. I want you to really shout. I fucking hate him.
I think you get you get the point. I don't.
We get the point. Yeah, we get the point.
Yeah. So, in retrospect, kill Rose. Thank you for killing Haldo, but kill Rose. And the scenes that I'm not gonna talk about will remain unspoken, and we're just gonna forget about them.
I'm gonna quickly speak about them as well, and about the film itself. Like, if I'm being perfectly honest, when I left the theatre back in December 2017 watching The Last Jedi, I thought, fucking hell, like, I honestly don't know what to think. Like, I'm on the fence, like really on the fence. Like, it's the first time ever with a Star Wars film I'm thinking, oh, I enjoyed that bit, but was that scene necessary? Was that really needed in the film? I remember coming home in the car with a friend of mine who was a massive Star Wars fan as me. Shout out to my friend, my best friend George Bond. And we're literally just sitting in the car thinking, like, what the fuck has happened here? Like, we're talking about, should they have included more stuff from the prequel? Should they have done stuff from the original trilogy? Like, we was really on the fence of what we really thought about the film.
Yeah.
And obviously, after, it was just like, literally, obviously, just before Christmas as well, I remember the conversation that we, was literally, I got home around about 9 o'clock and I mentioned to you, can I quickly speak to you? And literally, we spoke to on Google Hangouts, and it was like, I was literally sitting in my living room, and thinking, what the fuck has happened here? Honestly, I'm literally lost for words. And then when the film came out on DVD, and before that, I went to see it again. I was thinking, all right, I've kind of got a little bit of balance here. What I really think about the film, but to me, it seemed like a Star Wars film don't get me wrong, I don't think it was a really bad film. I think it was a decent film, but I feel certain scenes should have been avoided, i.e. the Canto Bite scene. That should never been made. I thought Luke's character development was fine, but I like to see a little bit more to it.
As far as decent movies goes, as far as decent movies go, it was a decent movie. It was not a Star Wars movie.
It didn't
because
feel like
there's a lot of stuff that, I mean, that again, if they just took another look at the lore, at all the work that they made so far, back when Lucasfilm was just Lucasfilm, that just rewatch the Clone Wars, and you can easily have Luke do the exact same thing that Anakin and Obi-Wan and Ahsoka did back in season 5, when there was the Civil War in Onderon.
And Obi-Wan.
And
Rex.
Exactly. Yeah, just little things like that.
Basically, using knowledge that has already been out there and applying it to a film now, so fans can go, "Oh, I can relate to that. I remember watching that or doing this." But going back to my point, Canto scenes should have never been the Canto scenes. They should have never been allowed in the film. Luke Skywalker's character development, I thought was fine, but I like to see more out of him, i.e., lightsabers and shit, and more stuff about it. The boring and very awkward nitpicking between Hux and Poe Dameron, that should have never been avoided. I thought they should have dealt with Leia, who looked like Mary Poppins floating in the air. That could either have been avoided or dealt better.
We need closure.
What else? I thought the battles were really good. I'd like to see a little bit more action in the film, but I thought the battles were really cool. I thought that the new Force connection between Rey and Kylo Ren, I thought that was really cool. Nice to see.
Holdo's a bitch.
Holdo's just a bitch and
time-wasting bitch.
And time-wasting bitch and deserved to die, basically. I've got nothing against the actress killing Marine Train. I thought she'd just obviously done her job, but I think Rose should have been killed off. Rose's character development in that film should have been Finn's. Finn should have got more screen time and more dialogue. I thought Poe Dameron and Oscar Isaac, I thought he was cool. Carrie Fisher was cool, but would you have liked to see that character killed off? Would you like to stay on? I'm not really too sure. I can't really answer that. But we'll be seeing there in episode 9 as well. But don't get me wrong, I thought the film was fine. It wasn't like, say, your proper Star Wars film where on the edge of your seat stuff and everything like Force Awakens, Rogue One and Solo. They're the films that are on the edge of your seat. Star Wars The Last Jedi was more like sitting back on the chair in the cinema thinking, right, that's good, but do I really agree with that? Do I really like this in the film? But
is this Star Wars?
Is this a Star Wars film? Like, what has Rian Johnson done? Like, obviously, as I said at the start of the stream, The Last Jedi, ever since it's been released in December 2017, it's had a lot of controversy. It's a lot of stick. And obviously, as we know, Rian Johnson's sequel trilogy has been cancelled, which rightly so, because it deserves to be cancelled, because we don't want to have future Star Wars films like that.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough, online as well. This is a point that I'm going to make about Kelly Marion Train and Star Wars fans as well. Fair enough, online, you can have points online. You can voice your opinion. That's totally fine. But when it gets overboard, i.e. offensive tweets, racism, and basically taking the piss and basically using nasty and rude words for an actress or Rian Johnson or a director, Rian Johnson, it's not on. Because as I just mentioned, it's fine to voice your opinion online, but when you're using tormenting words, telling people to kill themselves and die, it's just horrible. And then small majority of the Star Wars fans should never be allowed on Twitter again, should never be allowed to support the franchise or even enjoy a franchise, because I thought it was quite disgusting that a simple actress like Kelly Marion Train, she deleted all her Instagram posts due to being absolutely abused online by internet trolls about The Last Jedi. Fair enough, you could say that Kelly Marion Train, she's kind of like she's the last Jedi Jar Jar Binks, but it's just disgusting, same as the actor Ahmed Best. He went through it for over 20 years and nearly killed himself. And it's just disgraceful that some Star Wars fans thinks it's fine to abuse people online just because of a character. Like I said, it's fine to voice your opinion, but when you start using racism, nasty words, and basically telling you and their family to kill themselves, it's not on. So that being said, it has divided fans, but all that internet trolls online with the Star Wars fans, it's not on, and they should be punished for it. I mean, do you have anything to add on that, Alonn, what I've just mentioned?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
I mean, you're right with me. It's disgusting. Like,
yeah,
absolutely.
It's an actress,
but you should not be treating somebody disrespectfully. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Let's say it's a character. We know that some Star Wars fans take them to heart. Like, I know I'm a die-hard Star Wars fan, but I'm not going to have a sleepless night on, I don't know, the next actor for Solo is going to be, or who's going to play this character for it. Like, some people take it too far and they need to get to terms with reality to say, it's only a film, it's fine to voice your opinion, but when it comes to extreme measures, do not go on the internet because you'll be punished and you'll look like an idiot. But that being said, The Last Jedi, it's a Star Wars film. It's not my favourite Star Wars film. It'll probably go down the list near the bottom of Star Wars films, but it's been made. We've got to get over it, and hopefully Episode 9 and J.J. Abrams can deliver. And we just got to live with it, really.
It's interesting how how like a while ago you were you were actually okay with The Last Jedi, and after rewatching it a couple more times, you finally get it.
See, I'm okay. I'm okay with certain parts, but I just think certain parts could have been avoided. Scenes should have been added in, and basically the film should have had a really good think and thinking. Right, we need to improve on this aspect. But I wouldn't say I dislike the film. I just feel certain scenes should have been better. And director-wise, it should have been better. Right. They should have changed the director, or just had a long sit down and think. So, right, is this a Star Wars film that can really engage the fans that we love for over 40 years? But as you said, going back to your point, and sorry to interrupt you, you're saying about me changing my mind.
Yeah, it was just interesting to see how you came to dislike it more the more you rewatched it, the more you analyzed the movie.
Don't get me wrong, I could sit down and do a marathon and watch The Last Jedi, but not as much as the other films. I can still sit down, I can watch The Last Jedi for like a Star Wars marathon or a casual Star Wars film day, like I'm watch The Last Jedi, but it's not going to be like one of the ones I'm going to watch again, and again. I'll still watch it, but it's not my favourite, but it's still in the list. We've got to get on with it.
So
move on. So
when it comes to your favorite Star Wars movies, if you were to list all of them, in what order would you list them from most favorite to least favorite from all the ones that came out so far?
Okay, so I think my favourite, for a while, my favourite Star Wars film, it's always been between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
But if I was to judge it, I'd go original trilogy first. I'd go The Empire Strikes Back as number 1, A New Hope as second, Return of the Jedi third. The prequel trilogy, Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, A New Hope. But if I was to do it properly, I'd go The Empire Strikes Back as number 1, Rogue One as number 2, Revenge of the Sith as number 3, Solo as number 4, A New Hope as number 5, number 6 I would go, what have I missed? The Force Awakens, number 7, Attack of the Clones, number 8, The Phantom Menace, number 9, The Last Jedi.
Wow, okay, so it's that low, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I named them, all.
Yeah.
Like I said, The Last Jedi is a decent film. It's not my favourite Star Wars film, but I can still watch it. Out of 10, I'll give it a 6.
Okay.
What about you? What is your favourite films in order, and what would you rate The Last Jedi?
So I think I would rate The Last Jedi 4 out of 10.
Okay.
You know what? I gave it another 0.5 just for the great Praetorian Guard scene, the battle on Snoke's ship. Yeah, 4.5 out of 10. That's my rate on that movie. And as far as my my list from most favorite to least favorite goes, I think my favorite Star Wars movie is always gonna be Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
And then it will go, so Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, A New Hope, Solo. Wait, did I say Rogue One? Rogue One is supposed to be somewhere on the top.
Yeah.
Like in the top 4, top 5.
Yeah, Rogue One is up there with me. Rogue One's like my second favourite Star Wars film.
Okay, I'll just start again. Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, Rogue One, Return of the Jedi, then Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, A New Hope,
Mm-hmm.
Solo, and Last Jedi.
Okay.
Did I miss Did I miss a movie?
No, you didn't. No.
Oh, okay.
You know, Force Awakens.
Yeah, well, it's somewhere down there.
Somewhere down there, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then, mate. So yeah, we've spoken about that. What we usually do in these streams. I'm not going to pick the laptop up, but obviously there is my Last Jedi figures merged into there. You don't have any Last Jedi figures, do you, Alan? Well, you did, but.
I used to have Ray, but I gave it away.
You gave it away
at Comic-Con.
Yeah, I remember that. Is there any comments in the chat?
Legend of Lewis is in the chat. Says your gizzer's here.
I just spoke to Lewis. He said that he was at work. He was going to join us today, but he was at work. So it's good to see that you're on the stream. Any more comments? Please let us know before we sign off in the next 10 minutes. Let me just check. Is there anything else you'd like to add about The Last Jedi, mate?
No. I'm done talking about that movie. I don't think I want to talk about that movie ever again.
Okay, fair enough. Well, this was the live stream to shine, and you certainly shine in this film.
But I have enjoyed this live stream. I have enjoyed analyzing this movie more in depth. I always enjoy these live streams where we analyze the Star Wars movies in more depth, and we reference some other movies and some other storylines in the franchise.
Yeah.
And movie analysis, I really love that. So whenever we get to do this, it's very fun.
Good, I'm glad. Well, I'm glad that you like it, because obviously the movie analysis is good on this live stream and the channel in general, and I hope I've been a good host for it. And I hope you've
absolutely,
enjoyed
man.
every second of it as well. So I'm pleased you've enjoyed that.
Couldn't ask for a better host.
Thank you.
So yeah, I just don't. I'm done talking about that movie.
Fair enough.
Recently, I read that Disney is finally, rethinking their like strategy, I guess, for the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah, I noticed that yesterday. I gave that a read. They're saying they'll try and slow the process down, which is understandable. But what films they're going to do?
So yeah, I haven't heard much about Kathleen Kennedy, which I don't know if it's a good sign or a bad sign. But I'm glad that Ryan Johnson's trilogy is cancelled.
I am as well. I'm pleased that's happening.
I don't know where they're going next with because I know that earlier on they said that Jon Favreau was they wanted Jon Favreau to develop a series.
Yeah.
And they wanted David Benioff and DB Weiss, the showrun, the Game of Thrones showrunners. They wanted them to make a Star Wars show or a Star Wars series. So I don't know if that's still going on. But yeah, John, I think that there's with those people there could be potential, because Jon Favreau I think he's done great movies. Obviously, well, we've seen Iron Man, we've seen more recently the new live action Jungle Book. I think that was a good movie all in all. And you know, DB Weiss and David Benioff, Game of Thrones. I mean, it's my favorite. It's my favorite series of probably my top my favorite series to date. So
yep, same here. I loved Game of Thrones. I watched it this year. I love it.
Yeah.
I know, talking about Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke recently got a new tattoo of her 3 dragons on her wrist.
She get a what now? A tattoo of what?
She got a tattoo of her 3 baby dragons on her wrist.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope, like, if there's still hope for those people to be involved in the franchise, I think they should at least be given a shot. I think the Obi-Wan project spin-off was a bit of I don't know what they can do now, because they basically there are some stuff that there's some stuff that they can still explore, like how he learns to become a Force ghost and whatnot, and the things he's going through on Tatooine. But I mean, I think the thing that we would have been more interested in is you know, see Darth Maul coming back, and you know, the final duel, but that was already wrapped up in Star Wars Rebels, unfortunately. So I don't know if there's like if there is hope for that, but I mean, I wouldn't say no for an Obi-Wan spin-off.
No, Obi-Wan's one of my favourite characters from...
Obi-Wan is one of my favorite characters too. And, you know...
I'll be up for seeing Ewan McGregor portray him again.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Love Ewan McGregor.
Same here. I don't... as far as the sequel era, I don't want to see anything from that era anymore.
Well, I mean, they started production...
on Resistance, yeah.
On Star Wars Resistance, which I think looks really bad. If I'm honest, it looks dreadful.
Like I like the.
I'm debating even whether to collect the figures as well when they come out.
I somewhat like the animation style on that, but
yes, it's something different. But I don't think Resistance should have been made. I think they should have had a break from TV shows, then release the Clone Wars. But I'm not looking forward to Resistance. But as I said to you just now, I'm debating to buy the figures. If the figures are cool, I'll get them. But if the TV show's all right, I'll watch it. If not, I probably won't even be collecting the figures. Star Wars Episode 9. Obviously, we don't know a lot of things. We know there's been a couple of new cast members added to the cast.
It's J.J. Abrams directing this one now.
He is, yeah. J.J. Abrams is directing this. And apparently, what I read from an article online, he wants to link all three trilogies together, and this will be the end of the Skywalker saga. And there was talk that Anakin could be coming back as a Force ghost or something, but we will we'll wait and see what happens, really. But I'm looking forward to Episode 9 when that comes out next year. Solo Star Wars Story, that's recently been released. I'll be getting that this week on DVD, and obviously after the Last Jedi stream, that will be the next live stream on the channel, talking about Solo Star Wars Story, trying to talk about that. I really did enjoy Solo. It kind of balanced the Star Wars franchise in a way with some fans, but we'll get to that when we cross that bridge when we do the stream. What else have I got to say? Yeah, Star Wars Resistance, I'm on the fence with that. I don't think that's going to be great, so we'll wait to see if I pick the figures. Star Wars Episode 9, looking forward to that. Solo, enjoyed that, looking forward to watching it on DVD. Future of the channel, channel's looking fine. Just still going strong, reviewing stuff, collecting figures. That's just the same old thing. Comic-Con, MCN Comic-Con London next month. I'll be going to that again, so that's something to look forward to. So I'll be collecting more figures there. But yeah, the channel's doing all right. We'll just wait and see what happens in the next few months. What about you, Alan? Is the Last Laugh production going well, and how's Darth Akoko Productions channel going?
Well, first, it's great to hear all the stuff that's going on. That your channel's going well, and that you're gonna be collecting more figures at Comic-Con. I hope you enjoy that. As far as the Last Laugh production goes, I've touched it. I wanted to work on it more this month, but so far I only worked on it one day, and that was Tuesday a couple weeks ago. And so I'm scared, but at the same time it's also because I'm back to school now, and I'm doing night school, and so and I'm doing the conservatory at the same time. So also my sleeping hours are messy again. So I need to get used to I'm still getting used to this new system that I've got going on. Still trying to figure out this new this new I guess environment that I got myself into. But yeah, as far as the Last Laugh, I have everything that I need to animate. And I'm just working on it whenever I really feel like I can do something. So yeah, I've been I've been trying to imagine some ways to shoot the next scene in my head. But yeah, I have still have 5 scenes left to shoot. 3 of which are basic dialogue scenes. The other 2 are action scenes, and I also have 2 flashback sequences to animate as well.
No, so, yeah, I mean, this is just off the top of my head. Do you have an estimate date when that could possibly be done, with like no rush?
I absolutely have no idea. I know that I want to try and we got a holiday in October here, so it's gonna be, so I'm gonna have a week off of everything. So I'm try to get some animation done in October, and if not, probably in December I'll try to get the majority of all those stuff done. But then again, it depends on how my mind will be set and where I'll be at with motivation, inspiration, and whatnot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just it's still going slowly, but it's still a thing. It's still gonna be a thing. I'm not letting that go. So
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I just want to ask you a question. After production of The Last Laugh, do you have any plans after that's done? Because I know you want to get that done as soon as possible. Do you have any plans after that animation is done? Like, what is the future of your channel?
So first of all, my channel is gonna go through some changes. The main one will be the username of my channel. I'm gonna change my channel name, because I feel that Darth Akoko Productions is not catchy enough, and I don't think it catches enough audience, and as much as as fun as it is to make these videos just for myself, I do want still, I want to try and make like to go somewhere from this channel. Like I think that my channel is one of the keys to my future as a person that works within the world of cinema, whether it is a filmmaker or an actor or an editor or whatnot. So I need more people to like reach. I need more audience, and so the main change that my channel should be going through is the renaming of it.
Do you have a name lined up?
I'm thinking about Oak 99.
What's that, Oak 99 Productions?
No, just Oak 99. Yeah. And okay. There's some collaborations that might be coming along. I'm yet to sign a contract with an association here in Switzerland, but basically they've asked, we were talking about collaborating on a post-apocalyptic that they want me to animate with you know, with Lego. So that still needs to be officialized, but that's a potential upcoming project for the next year or so. And I you know what, I kind of want to start to doing more live action stuff. Recently I've been I'm sorry, my family, I'm making so much noise.
I can't hear him, so it's all right.
Okay. Yeah, but recently I've been participating in live action amateur shooting sessions of like friends of mine here in Switzerland, here in Geneva. That they're shooting like their own project, their own independent project, and it looks like so much fun. And yeah, I'm thinking about I really want to like have a place there, and maybe even someday create my own kind of home of production with my friends, and create some live action stuff just for the fun of it, and see where it can go from there.
Sounds good, mate.
Yeah.
Sounds really, really good. Just keep heading down that path, and hopefully things will be all right. But no, good luck to you, mate. Obviously, still a long way to go, but I hope everything goes smoothly for you.
Thank you.
Obviously, there's plenty more to look forward to on your channel and everything, so I know you've stopped live streaming.
Yeah.
So I suppose that could be a good step forward and everything, but we'll wait and see what comes to it. You mentioned to me the other day about the book film series with the Harry Potter films. Do you have that lined up whenever you get the time to like review them and then put them out on your channel?
Yeah. I already shot the video. I still need to edit that. I wanted to edit the video this weekend, but I just did not have the time. And I don't think I'm gonna have the time today because I have homework to do, and yeah, just the I don't know when I'll have time next week, but I want to have that out on the channel by the end of next week. So yeah, that's an upcoming video. Yeah, video to look forward to.
Cool. I'll keep an eye out for that.
Thanks.
Should we read the comments one last time before we sign off?
There's no new comment, unfortunately.
There's no new comments. Right, we might as well sign off then. Just like to say thank you to everybody watching the Last Jedi stream. As I mentioned at the start of the stream, this film did have a lot of controversy between fans and everything. Just one thing before I like to end off is it's all right to voice your opinion online to fellow Star Wars fans, actors and actresses, but when stuff goes to the extreme, i.e. racism and basically tormenting actors and actresses and other fans, then it leads you down to a pathway where you will not be recognised and basically you will be treated completely different than you already are. It's fine to voice your opinion, but it's really appalling when racism and other aspects of being nasty can offend people in any way. So we've known that from Kelly Marine Train, probably, and we know that Ryan Johnson has recently, over the last several months or so, has been giving stick towards The Last Jedi.
I mean, it's not like we haven't seen that before. It happened with George Lucas and Hayden Christensen before.
Yeah, we have seen it before there. But obviously, in this day and age, as technology has advanced since obviously the years of 2002 to 2005, it has changed. But like I said, it's all right to voice your opinion, but just be careful. And I mean, I'm only saying that because what The Last Jedi has brought to the table with racism and people being nasty. But that being said, I'd like to thank every single one for watching the live stream. As usual, I'd like to say a massive thank you to Adam for joining me as a guest who's regularly on these Star Wars Conversations live streams. And yeah, as always, Alonn, where can we find you online?
So first of all, thank you a lot, Jack, for having me on this stream. It's always fun to do these streams, and I can't wait for the next one.
You're always welcome, mate.
Thanks. So if you guys want to see what I do on YouTube, you be sure to go check out my YouTube channel, Darth Akoko Productions. But quick before the name changes. Take your time. It's gonna take a while. But yeah, Darth Akoko Productions on YouTube and Darth Akoko 1999 on Twitter and Instagram. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. How about you? Where can people find you, Jack?
Well, as usual, you can subscribe to the Jedi Master 98 YouTube channel for more Star Wars live streams, collection updates, figure reviews, and everything to do with Star Wars. Be sure to subscribe to Alon's channel as well before the name changes and everything. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram as well, and basically see what I'm up to. And if you want to message me about anything about Star Wars or collabing or doing stuff with Star Wars, you're more than welcome to on Instagram and Facebook. The next Star Wars Conversation live streams will be on Solo a Star Wars Story. So when everyone is available, as usual, we will be doing the live stream on Solo a Star Wars Story. But I hope you've enjoyed this Last Jedi review. It's been a little bit different than the other live streams that I've done. But as I said to you at the start of the stream and a couple of minutes ago, The Last Jedi has brought a lot of controversy to the film, and it's divided fans. And in this live stream, and for many years to come, we will share our opinions on this film. So thank you very much for taking the time to watch this review. Subscribe to the channel, enjoy all the content I produce, subscribe to Arnold's channel, and as always, take care, have a nice day, and may the force be with you, and we'll see you on the next one.